Nina had always been known for her big dreams. A talented graphic designer with a creative spark that could light up any project, she once envisioned a life filled with passion, innovation, and constant growth. Yet, as the years passed, she found herself trapped in a monotonous cycle. Every morning, she would wake up to the same routine, hit the snooze button repeatedly, rush to catch the bus, and spend her day juggling endless emails, routine meetings, and minor tasks that left little room for creativity. Her once vibrant dreams had been pushed aside by the demands of daily survival. In quiet moments, Nina questioned herself, when did I stop pursuing what truly matters? She felt like she was spinning her wheels, accomplishing the same mundane tasks, without any real progress toward her aspirations. Despite her talent, she was stuck, paralyzed by inertia, overwhelmed by the constant barrage of distractions, and unable to break free from the cycle of procrastination. Then one day, while scrolling through an inspirational blog, Nina came across a reference to a book titled Win Your Next Hour: How to Get Unstuck and Turn Your Dreams into Reality by Danny Lehr. The idea intrigued her. What if, instead of trying to overhaul her entire life at once, she could focus on mastering just 1 hour at a time? Could each hour be a building block, a stepping stone towards reclaiming her lost passion and achieving her dreams? With a mix of skepticism and hope, Nina downloaded the book that very evening. As she read, she discovered that Lehr's message was simple yet profound. You don't have to wait for a perfect moment or a dramatic life. Overhaul to create change. Every hour is a new opportunity. The book was filled with practical strategies, real-life stories, and actionable advice that promised to help anyone get unstuck 1 hour at a time. Nina felt a spark of possibility ignite within her. Here was a roadmap to break free from inertia, to reclaim control over her time, and ultimately, to transform her dreams into reality. Over the next few months, she would learn to harness the power of that next hour, turning small, focused increments of time into significant, life-changing progress. Let's journey with Nina through the transformative lessons of Win Your Next Hour, exploring how each hour can become a catalyst for creativity, productivity, and personal growth. Chapter 1. Recognizing the Cycle of Inaction. Nina's struggle began with a familiar pattern, one she now recognized as the cycle of inaction. Every day she found herself caught in a loop. Wake up, rush through a hectic morning, lose focus during work, and return home exhausted, only to repeat the same pattern the next day. Her dreams of launching a personal design studio, writing a book, or even simply learning a new skill seemed to fade into the background of her busy life. Danny Lehr explains that many of us fall into this trap because we underestimate the power of small increments of time. We believe that change requires monumental effort or a sudden burst of inspiration, but in reality, it's about consistent, incremental progress. Lehr emphasizes, every hour is a new opportunity. Don't let the small moments slip away into insignificance. For Nina, this was a revelation. She realized that the key to escaping the cycle of inaction was not to try and transform her entire life overnight, but to seize control of each hour. By breaking her day into manageable, focused segments, she could begin to build momentum, 1 hour at a time. Practical tips: track your day. Spend a week recording how you spend each hour. Identify pockets of wasted time. Reflect on your routines. Ask yourself, which activities move you closer to your goals and which ones keep you stuck? Set a simple goal for the next hour. Instead of overwhelming yourself with a long to-do list, choose one specific task you can accomplish in the next hour. Chapter 2. The Power of Small Wins. In Win Your Next Hour, Lehr highlights the importance of small wins. Those incremental successes that build momentum over time. Nina discovered that even the smallest achievement, like finishing a challenging email or sketching a quick design idea, could serve as a powerful motivator. For example, one day at work, Nina set herself the goal of completing a single design draft for an upcoming project within 1 hour. Initially, it seemed trivial. Yet, as she focused solely on that task, she found herself in a state of flow. The satisfaction of completing the draft boosted her confidence and made her realize that she was capable of achieving more than she thought. Lehr writes, small wins are the seeds of transformation. They remind you that progress is possible and that change is within reach. These small victories slowly started to accumulate, creating a positive feedback loop that propelled Nina forward. She began celebrating every little success, realizing that each one was a stepping stone toward her larger dreams. Practical tips: set micro goals. Break larger projects into 1 hour tasks. Celebrate when you complete each one. Keep a success journal. Document your small wins to remind yourself of the progress you're making. Reward yourself. Treat yourself after accomplishing a goal, reinforcing the positive habit. Chapter 3. Getting Unstuck. Strategies for Action. One of the core challenges Nina faced was simply getting started. Procrastination had become a constant companion, a barrier between her and her dreams. Lehr emphasizes that the key to overcoming this inertia is to initiate action, no matter how small the step. Nina began experimenting with several strategies to break free from her cycle of procrastination. One method that resonated with her was the 5-minute rule. The idea was simple: commit to working on a task for just 5 minutes. Often, once she started, the momentum carried her forward, and what was initially a small effort blossomed into sustained productivity. For instance, when Nina wanted to work on her passion project, designing a personal art portfolio, she would tell herself, "I'm only going to work on it for 5 minutes." More often than not, she found herself engrossed in the creative process, losing track of time and ultimately spending an hour or more on the project. Lehr also suggests eliminating distractions as a crucial step. Nina began by creating a dedicated workspace, free of unnecessary clutter and digital interruptions. She turned off notifications on her phone and used productivity apps to block distracting websites. These small, deliberate changes helped her focus on her work and make the most of every minute. The key to getting unstuck is to start. Action is the antidote to inertia. Practical tips: try the 5-minute rule. Commit to a task for 5 minutes. Often, momentum will build. Create a distraction-free zone. Dedicate a quiet space for work. And use apps to limit distractions. Use a timer. Set a timer for focused work sessions and take short breaks in between. Chapter 4. Turning Dreams into Reality. 1 hour at a time. Lehr's book emphasizes that transforming your life doesn't require radical upheaval. It requires focused, incremental changes. Nina began to see that her long-held dreams, whether launching a personal design studio or learning new creative skills, could be achieved 1 hour at a time. Nina decided to dedicate a specific hour each day to her passion projects. She called it her dream hour. During this time, she turned off all work-related distractions and immersed herself in creative endeavors, sketching new designs, learning advanced techniques through online tutorials, or simply brainstorming ideas for future projects. Over time, these isolated hours of focused work accumulated into a substantial portfolio that reflected her true potential. Lehr writes, "Each hour you invest in your dreams compounds over time, turning small actions into monumental achievements." This practice transformed Nina's outlook. She began to view each hour not as a fleeting moment to be wasted, but as an opportunity, a chance to bring her dreams one step closer to reality. This shift in perspective was empowering, instilling in her the belief that even the smallest increments of time, when used wisely, could change her life. Practical tips: establish a dream hour. Reserve an hour each day for activities that move you toward your long-term goals. Prioritize passion projects. Dedicate your best energy during this hour to work on projects that matter most to you. Review your progress. At the end of each week, reflect on what you've achieved during your dream hours to stay motivated. Chapter 5. The Mindset Shift. Embracing Opportunity and Overcoming Fear. A critical lesson in Win Your Next Hour is the importance of a mindset shift. Nina realized that the main barrier to her success was not a lack of time. It was a fear of failure and a tendency to overthink every decision. She had been paralyzed by the notion that every moment wasted was a missed opportunity, and this constant pressure often led to inaction. Danny Lehr argues that fear is the enemy of progress. When we are afraid, our brain's natural response is to freeze, to avoid the possibility of failure, and thereby miss the chance for growth. Nina recognized that in order to seize her next hour, she needed to overcome this fear and embrace the potential for success. For example, Nina recalled a time when she hesitated to pitch a bold idea at work, worried that her colleagues would dismiss her. The opportunity passed, and she later regretted not taking that chance. Determined to change, she began to approach each new task with a sense of curiosity rather than fear. She started to reframe setbacks as lessons learned rather than as failures. Fear is only as powerful as the thoughts you allow to dominate your mind. Danny Lehr paraphrased. Nina adopted daily affirmations that reinforced her belief in her abilities. She reminded herself that every hour was a new opportunity, and that even if things didn't go perfectly, each experience was a chance to learn and improve. Practical tips: reframe setbacks. View failures as learning opportunities. Write down what you learned each time something doesn't go as planned. Practice affirmations. Use positive self-talk to boost your confidence. Before starting a new task, embrace curiosity. Instead of fearing failure, approach challenges with the mindset of an explorer. Every challenge is a chance to discover something new. Chapter 6. Creating your hourly blueprint. Planning for success. One of the most actionable strategies in Lehr's book is the concept of the hourly blueprint. Nina learned that the key to maximizing productivity is to plan how you'll spend each hour. Rather than drifting through your day, an hourly blueprint forces you to be intentional with your time. Nina began each morning by creating a simple schedule. 8 km, 9 km. Focus on high-priority work tasks. 9 km. Dedicate to learning and skill development, e.g., watching tutorials, reading industry articles. 10. 11 a.m. Work on creative projects or brainstorming sessions. 11 a.m. 13 p.m. Handle emails and routine administrative tasks. This structured approach allowed her to see where her time was going and ensured that each hour had a clear purpose. Over time, she refined her blueprint based on what worked best for her energy, levels, and focus patterns. Lehr emphasizes that planning is not about rigidity. It's about creating a framework that guides your actions. By having a blueprint, Nina was less likely to waste time on unproductive tasks and more likely to stay aligned with her long-term goals. Practical tips: draft a daily schedule. Break your day into dedicated time blocks for different types of work. Review and adjust. At the end of each day, review your schedule and adjust based on what worked and what didn't. Use tools. Utilize digital planners or apps to keep track of your hourly blueprint. Chapter 7. The Ripple Effect. Building Momentum. 1 hour at a time. One of the most inspiring aspects of Lehr's message is that small, consistent actions have a powerful cumulative effect. Nina began to notice that each hour she dedicated to focused, purposeful work created a ripple effect throughout her day. These small wins built momentum and transformed her overall productivity. For instance, the hour she spent developing a new design concept not only improved her current project, but also sparked creative ideas for future projects. The focused hour of learning led her to discover new techniques that enhanced her skills and boosted her confidence. Over weeks and months, these incremental gains compounded into significant progress. Lehr writes, "Every hour you win is a building block for a better future." Nina's transformation wasn't instantaneous. There were days when her blueprint didn't go as planned, and setbacks occurred. However, the consistent focus on winning each hour allowed her to create a momentum that was hard to break. This ripple effect extended into her personal life. As well, she found more time for hobbies, exercise, and relationships, which in turn fueled her creativity at work. Practical tips: celebrate small wins, acknowledge every hour of focused work as a step toward your larger goals. Keep a progress journal. Document your daily achievements to see how small actions add up over time. Build a routine. Consistency is key. Make winning the next hour a habit, and let the momentum carry you forward. Chapter 8. Overcoming procrastination, the enemy of your hour. Procrastination is one of the biggest obstacles to productivity. Nina realized that much of her wasted time was due to indecision and avoidance. Every time she felt overwhelmed, she delayed starting on her tasks, thinking that she'd begin tomorrow or next hour. Danny Lehr explains that procrastination often stems from a fear of failure or an inability to break down tasks into manageable parts. Instead of being paralyzed by the magnitude of a project, the secret is to focus on the immediate next step. Nina started using a simple strategy, the just do it approach. Whenever she caught herself procrastinating, she forced herself to work for just 5 minutes. Often that initial effort was enough to break the cycle, and she would continue working beyond the initial 5 minutes. For example, Nina had a habit of delaying her work on a crucial design project. Instead of waiting for inspiration to strike, she set a timer for 5 minutes, opened her design software, and started doodling. That small act of initiation often led to a productive hour of work, and the next hour is always a fresh start. Don't let procrastination steal your time. Practical tips: use the 5-minute rule. Commit to working on a task for just 5 minutes. To overcome the inertia of procrastination, Break tasks into smaller steps. Divide large projects into manageable parts that are less intimidating. Set clear, immediate goals. Focus on what you can accomplish in the next hour, rather than the entire project. Chapter 9. Managing Distractions. Guarding your hour. In today's hyper-connected world, distractions lurk at every corner. Nina found that her work was constantly interrupted by phone calls, emails, and the allure of social media. These interruptions not only wasted valuable time, but also shattered her concentration, making it hard to get back on track. Lehr advises that the key to winning your next hour is to minimize distractions. Nina took practical steps to create a distraction-free environment. She designated a specific workspace, put her phone on silent, and used productivity apps to block access to social media during work hours. For example, one morning, Nina decided to turn off all non-essential notifications and set her email client to Do Not Disturb mode for an entire hour. The difference was remarkable. She was able to complete a task that she had been postponing for days. The focused time allowed her to dive deep into her work without the constant pull of interruptions. Practical tips: create a dedicated workspace. Set up an area free from distractions where you can work productively. Use technology wisely. Employ apps that block distracting websites and silence non-essential notifications during your win hours. Schedule breaks. Plan short breaks between focused work sessions to check messages and reset, rather than constantly interrupting your flow. Chapter 10. The Mindset Shift. From Overwhelm to Opportunity. One of the most transformative insights Nina gained from Win Your Next hour was the power of a mindset shift. Rather than viewing her day as a series of overwhelming tasks, she began to see each hour as an opportunity to make progress, learn something new, or simply take a step toward her dreams. Lehr emphasizes that a positive mindset is crucial for productivity. When you believe that each hour holds potential, you're more likely to take decisive action and resist the pull of procrastination. Nina started to adopt this mindset by reframing her internal dialogue. Instead of thinking, "I have so much to do, and I'll never catch up," she began to tell herself, "I have a fresh start with every new hour." For instance, when faced with a daunting report, rather than feeling paralyzed by the task's magnitude, Nina focused on the next 60 minutes. She set a timer, broke the task into smaller sections, and attacked it one piece at a time. This approach transformed her attitude toward work, making challenges seem more manageable and less intimidating. Practical tips: adopt a fresh start mentality. Remind yourself that every hour is a new beginning. Break negative thought patterns. When overwhelmed, pause and reframe your thoughts to focus on immediate, actionable goals. Set micro goals. Focus on what you can achieve in the next hour rather than the entire project. Chapter 11. Creating an Hourly Blueprint. Designing your path to success. With her newfound insights, Nina realized that success wasn't about waiting for the perfect moment. It was about designing a blueprint for each hour. Lehr suggests that planning your next hour can set the tone for your entire day, ensuring that your time is spent on activities that move you closer to your dreams. Nina began each morning by mapping out a detailed schedule for the day, breaking her time into focused blocks dedicated to specific tasks. For instance, she allocated 8 m creative work and brainstorming sessions, administrative tasks and email management, then learning and skill development, p.m. collaboration with team members on key projects. This hourly blueprint helped her stay organized and focused. It wasn't about micromanaging every minute, but about creating a structure that maximized productivity while allowing flexibility for unexpected opportunities. Over time, Nina refined her blueprint based on what worked best for her energy, levels, and the nature of her tasks. Practical tips: draft a daily blueprint. Plan your day hour by hour with dedicated time blocks. Be flexible. Adjust your schedule as needed. If a task takes longer than expected, allow yourself room to breathe. Review and reflect. At the end of each day, assess what worked and what didn't, and use that feedback to improve your blueprint. Chapter 12. Sustaining Momentum. Building a Habit of Winning Hours. The final lesson in Win Your Next Hour is about sustaining the momentum you build through focused, intentional work. Nina learned that change doesn't happen overnight. It requires consistent effort, daily commitment, and the willingness to adjust as life evolves. Over the months, Nina's approach to each hour became a habit. What started as a conscious effort to structure, her time evolved into an instinctive part of her routine. She began to see each hour as a valuable resource, a stepping stone that, when accumulated, led to significant achievements. Even on difficult days, when setbacks occurred or distractions threatened to derail her progress, Nina relied on her hourly practices to regain control. She learned to view failures not as dead ends, but as opportunities to learn and recalibrate her approach. Beneath the surface of every win was the commitment to never let a single hour go to waste. This relentless focus transformed her life. Projects that once took weeks to complete were now tackled in small, manageable chunks, and her overall productivity soared. Nina's personal and professional growth became a testament to the power of using time wisely. Practical tips. Consistency is key. Commit to your hourly blueprint every day, even when it's challenging. Learn from setbacks. Analyze moments when your plan falters and adjust your strategy accordingly. Celebrate daily wins. Recognize that each focused hour contributes to your long-term success. Chapter 13. The Mindset of Possibility. Embracing Growth and Change. A crucial part of Nina's transformation was a shift in mindset, a move from seeing time as a finite resource to viewing it as an opportunity for growth and possibility. Lehr teaches that when you believe that every hour holds potential, you become more resilient, adaptive, and creative. Nina's perspective changed dramatically. Instead of dreading busy days and endless to-do lists, she began to see each hour as a blank canvas, an opportunity to make progress on her dreams. This shift not only improved her productivity, but also enhanced her overall sense of well-being. She became more open to learning new skills, trying out different routines, and exploring creative solutions to problems that had once seemed insurmountable. For instance, when faced with a challenging project at work, instead of getting bogged down by the complexity, Nina viewed it as an opportunity to learn and innovate. This mindset allowed her to embrace change with enthusiasm and a sense of curiosity rather than fear. Practical tips. Adopt a growth mindset. Remind yourself daily that every hour is an opportunity to grow, learn, and improve. Be open to experimentation. Try new methods, tools, or routines without the fear of failure. Reflect on your progress regularly. Revisit your achievements and learn from both successes and setbacks. Practical tips. Design a comprehensive daily system. Combine time blocking, journaling, and regular accountability with a support network. Review and adapt regularly. Your system should evolve as your goals and circumstances change. Celebrate consistency. Recognize that consistency is more important than perfection. Each hour won is a victory. Conclusion. Your next hour, your new beginning. After months of diligent effort and a radical shift in mindset, Nina's transformation was undeniable. What once seemed like an endless struggle to overcome procrastination and distraction had given way to a life marked by purpose, clarity, and unstoppable momentum. Each hour she reclaimed became a building block for a future she had once only dared to dream about.